Think about the last time you met someone after a long time. Maybe it was an old classmate or a neighbor you hadn't seen in years. You probably smiled, maybe laughed, and said something like, "Wow, long time no see." That moment, though simple, reconnects you instantly. English is full of expressions like that, real, human, and alive. That's what we're going to explore in this section. How to greet people naturally, how to keep conversations flowing, and how to make others feel comfortable speaking with you. Hey there, and welcome to English Uncovered. I'm so glad you're here. This is the place where you'll learn to speak English with confidence, not by memorizing endless lists of words, but by living the language one moment at a time. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming lessons. And remember, this is not a passive video. I want you to speak with me. Repeat out loud, practice your pronunciation, and comment your favorite phrases below. Today marks the start of your journey toward natural, confident English. Every time you repeat a phrase, every time you speak along, you're not just learning words, you're training your brain to think in English. So take a deep breath, relax, and get ready to enjoy the process. In this lesson, we're going to explore real English, the kind of English you'll actually hear and use every single day. These are phrases that native speakers use in cafés, at work, while traveling, or just chatting with friends. They're real, alive, and full of meaning. Here, you're going to master real-life English, the English that connects people, that carries emotions, and that helps you express who you truly are. This is not about translating words from your native language. It's about feeling the rhythm, the tone, and the emotion behind each phrase. Think of English not as a subject to study, but as a language to live. The more you listen, repeat, and interact, the more natural it becomes. By the end of this lesson, you won't just know new words, you'll feel how to use them in real conversations. All right, let's begin our journey into one of the most essential parts of any language, greetings and small talk. You might think it's simple, just a few phrases like hello or how are you? But in reality, these moments are where real communication begins. Every meaningful interaction, whether it's at work, in a store, or with a stranger you meet while traveling, starts with a small exchange of words. These little phrases carry a lot of emotional weight. They show warmth, friendliness, and openness. They set the tone for what comes next. Let's start with one of the most common and warm greetings. Hey there, long time no see. Notice how relaxed it sounds. It's not formal like, hello, how do you do, which might sound stiff in everyday life. Hey there immediately feels friendly. It's a phrase you can use with friends, coworkers, or even someone you've met casually before. When you add long time no see, it adds a personal touch, like you're genuinely happy to see them again. Imagine this short dialogue. A. Long time no see. B. Yeah, it's been ages. How have you been? A. Pretty good, just busy with work. Simple, right? But this short exchange does so much. It reconnects two people, updates their relationship, and sets a friendly tone for whatever comes next. It's not just about the words, it's about what those words mean emotionally. When you say, "How have you been?" you're not just asking a question. You're expressing care. You're showing interest. Now, let's talk about tone and rhythm. English speakers use their voices to add color to their words. When someone says, "Hey there," the tone usually goes up slightly. It's light, bright, and welcoming. When they say, "Long time no see," the tone might drop a little at the end, giving it a warm, reflective feeling. Try it now. Repeat after me, slowly and naturally, not like a robot. Hey there. Pause. Long time no see. Feel the smile in your voice. Great. Now, let's move to the next phrase. How's everything going? This is one of the most flexible and common ways to ask someone how they are. It's casual but caring. You can say it to friends, coworkers, or even to someone you've just met in a social setting. Notice that it's not, "How are you doing?" Though that's also fine. "How's everything going?" sounds a little warmer and a bit more personal. Try saying it now. How's everything going? When you ask this, your tone should rise slightly at the end. It's what makes it sound like a real question. In spoken English, melody is everything. Without it, your words can sound flat or distant. Now, let's imagine you're continuing the conversation. Maybe your friend says, "Oh, not bad. I've been busy lately, but can't complain." This last part, "can't complain," is an interesting one. It's one of those phrases you'll hear all the time in real English conversations. It means things are okay, or everything's fine. But it's said in a way that keeps the mood light. Native speakers use it often because it doesn't sound like bragging, and it doesn't sound negative either. It's perfectly balanced. Let's say it together. Can't complain. Keep it short and relaxed. Your voice should stay even, without going up or down too much. It's like a friendly shrug in spoken form. Now, imagine another moment. You've been thinking about someone, meaning to get in touch, but life has been busy. Finally, you see them and say, "I've been meaning to call you." This phrase is beautiful because it carries intention. It says, "You've been on my mind." It's both friendly and genuine. When you use it, you're showing that you care enough to acknowledge the delay. Try saying it now. "I've been meaning to call you." Notice the rhythm. It flows naturally, like water. These little phrases are small doors into big conversations. They may look simple on paper, but they're packed with emotion, rhythm, and context. That's what makes spoken English feel alive. Now, let's put them all together in a natural flow. Hey there, long time no see. Yeah, it's been ages. How's everything going? Pretty good. Just busy with work. Can't complain. I've been meaning to call you, actually. See how real that sounds? That's the kind of English you'll hear in cafés, on the phone, or even on the street. It's not the kind you find in grammar books. It's real-life English. Now, let's talk about something important, the energy behind your words. Communication isn't only about grammar or vocabulary. It's about connection. When you speak with warmth, people respond to that. When your tone is open, the conversation flows naturally. But if your voice sounds closed or tense, even perfect grammar won't help. So, as you practice, focus not just on pronunciation, but also on emotion. Feel what you're saying. When you say, "Hey there," imagine someone you actually care about. When you say, "How's everything going?" picture their face, their smile. It changes the energy in your voice instantly. That's how native speakers sound authentic. They speak with feeling. Let's try a little shadowing exercise now. I'll say a few phrases, and you repeat them right after me, matching my tone and rhythm. Ready? Hey there. Long time no see. How's everything going? Pretty good. Just busy with work. Can't complain. I've been meaning to call you, actually. What's new with you? Excellent. Now, let's make this more interactive. Imagine different situations where you could use these phrases. For example, you walk into the office after a long weekend and see your colleague. You could say, "Hey, how's everything going?" Or you're walking through your neighborhood and bump into an old friend. You smile and say, "Hey there, long time no see." Or maybe you run into someone at the airport after months apart, and you start with, "I've been meaning to call you." These moments happen everywhere, and mastering them makes you sound natural and confident. But here's a secret. Small talk isn't really small. It's actually a big deal in English-speaking cultures. It's how people build trust and comfort before talking about anything serious. When you say, "Hey, how are you?" it's not about getting a full report on someone's life. It's about creating a moment of friendliness. It's how people show respect and connection. So never underestimate these small exchanges. Now, let's expand a little. What happens after the greeting? How do you keep the conversation alive? That's where phrases like, "What's new with you?" or "How have you been lately?" come in. These invite the other person to share something real. They turn a greeting into a genuine exchange. For example, A. "Hey, how's everything going?" B. "Oh, pretty good. Work's been crazy, though." A. "Yeah, I can imagine. Same here. Deadlines, meetings, you know how it is." And just like that, you're having a natural conversation. It's not about memorizing lines. It's about understanding rhythm and flow. Now, let's talk about body language for a second. When you greet someone in English, a lot of communication happens without words. A smile, a nod, an open posture, all of that sends a message of warmth. English-speaking cultures value that sense of openness. A smile can make your words sound more natural, even if your grammar isn't perfect. So, here's what I want you to practice today. Next time you meet someone, start with a warm, natural greeting. Use your voice, your eyes, your body language. Even if it's just a quick hello at the grocery store, make it count. Each small interaction is a chance to practice real English. And remember, learning to speak well isn't about perfection. It's about connection. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You need to sound like you, confident, expressive, and real. Let's finish this section by revisiting our phrases one more time, slowly, with feeling. Hey there. Long time no see. How's everything going? I've been meaning to call you. Can't complain. What's new with you? Perfect. Keep repeating them throughout your day. Whisper them while you're walking. Say them in the mirror, or record yourself and listen back. The more you repeat with intention, the faster they'll become natural. So here's your mission. Start using small talk as your daily practice. Every time you greet someone, in English or your native language, think about the feeling behind your words, because that's what really makes a language come alive. Every great speaker began with simple greetings. Every confident conversation starts with, "Hey there." So keep speaking, keep feeling, and most importantly, keep connecting. That's how your English stops being just a language and becomes part of who you are. All right, let's step into another essential part of everyday English. Real conversations that happen at cafés and restaurants. These are the kinds of moments that make learning English come alive. It's one thing to know grammar and vocabulary, but it's something completely different to walk into a cafe, order confidently, make small talk with someone nearby, and leave with a smile, all in English. That's when you know you're living the language, not just studying it. Now, picture this. You walk into a cozy cafe on a sunny morning. You can hear soft music playing in the background, the sound of cups clinking, people chatting quietly. You walk up to the counter, smile at the barista, and say naturally, "Can I get a coffee to go, please?" It's simple, polite, and completely natural. You don't need fancy words. Just that one sentence already makes you sound like someone who belongs there. Now, let's look at the rhythm of this phrase. "Can I get a coffee to go, please?" The tone goes up slightly at the word coffee and drops softly at the end with please. It's friendly, confident, and polite. You can use this structure for almost anything. "Can I get a sandwich?" "Can I get a glass of water?" "Can I get 2 tickets, please?" It's one of the most useful and natural ways to make a request in English. Now, imagine the next moment. You've got your coffee and you're looking for a seat. You see a table with one chair empty and you ask, "Is the seat taken?" It's a short phrase, but it's packed with politeness. You're not just asking for a chair. You're showing respect for the other person's space. It's friendly and considerate, the kind of English that opens doors. Let's play out the small dialogue. A, "Is this seat taken?" B, "Not at all. Go ahead." A, "Thanks. I'll just grab a coffee to go." This short exchange could happen anywhere, in a cafe, at the airport, in a classroom. And yet, it's one of those moments that make you feel connected to the world. You're not just practicing English, you're living it. Every little conversation like this builds your fluency. Now, let's focus on pronunciation and tone. When you ask, "Is this seat taken?" your voice should rise slightly at the end. It's what makes it sound like a genuine question. When the other person answers, "Not at all. Go ahead," their tone usually drops gently, which sounds reassuring and friendly. Try it with me. "Is this seat taken?" Pause. "Not at all. Go ahead." Good. Now say it again, but smile this time. Feel how your voice changes naturally when you smile? That's the magic of communication. Emotion transforms your sound. Let's move on to another useful phrase. The food looks amazing. You can use this anytime you're enjoying a meal or even when you see someone else's dish and it looks delicious. In English, compliments like this are very common and appreciated. It's a great way to show positivity and connect with people around you. Try it now. The food looks amazing. Let your tone rise slightly on amazing, giving it energy and sincerity. If you're dining with someone, you can take it further. This place is great. The food looks amazing. Or, I'm definitely coming back here again. These short, spontaneous comments make your English sound warm and real, not robotic or memorized. Then, when the meal is over, you'll need another essential phrase. Could we get the bill, please? Notice the structure. Could we get? It's a polite, indirect way to ask for something. You can also say, can we get the bill, please? But could sounds just a bit softer. It's the kind of politeness that English speakers use naturally. When you say it, keep your tone calm and pleasant, not too high, not too flat. Could we get the bill, please? Once the waiter brings it, you might want to say, keep the change. That means you're leaving the extra money as a tip. It's short, direct, and friendly. In some places, it's common. In others, it's optional. But the phrase itself is very natural and polite. Say it confidently. Keep the change. Now, let's bring all of these phrases together in a short scene. Imagine you're traveling alone in a new city, maybe London or New York. You walk into a café on a rainy afternoon. You find a seat, smile at someone nearby, and ask, "Is this seat taken?" They shake their head and say, "Not at all." You sit down, glance at the menu, and when the waiter comes, you say, "Can I get a coffee to go, please?" A few minutes later, the waiter brings your drink. You look at it, take a sip, and smile. "The coffee's amazing," you say quietly to yourself. When you finish, you wave gently to get the waiter's attention and say, "Could we get the bill, please?" He brings it over and you leave a few coins on the table, saying, "Keep the change." Simple, right? But in that short moment, you've used 5 real-life phrases, all natural, all perfectly suited to daily life. That's the kind of English that matters most, the English that helps you connect, express gratitude, and navigate real situations confidently. Now, let's go deeper. Each of these phrases follows a rhythm, a melody that makes them sound natural. Let's break it down. Can I get a coffee to go, please? Rising slightly on coffee, falling at please. Is this seat taken? Rising tone at the end, showing it's a question. The food looks amazing. Energy rises at amazing, expressing enthusiasm. Could we get the bill, please? Gentle, polite tone, fall slightly at the end. Keep the change. Firm but kind tone with a small downward drop. Now shadow me. That means repeat right after I say it, trying to match rhythm, tone, and emotion. Ready? Can I get a coffee to go, please? Is this seat taken? The food looks amazing. Could we get the bill, please? Keep the change. Perfect. Let's do it again. But this time, imagine you're actually there, in a cafe, speaking to someone. Close your eyes for a second and picture it. The smell of coffee, the sound of people talking, the warm light. You're confident, calm, and natural. Now, repeat each line again with that image in mind. Feel how much smoother it sounds when you believe the situation is real. That's the key to fluency. Your brain learns faster when it feels real emotion and context. These phrases might seem simple, but they're the ones that make you sound natural. They're short, practical, and full of life. They're the kind of phrases you'll use again and again, in cafés, restaurants, and informal settings with friends. Practice them until they come out automatically, without thinking, because when they do, that's when you'll start to truly think in English. So here's a challenge for you. Next time you go out, imagine every step of your interaction in English. When you walk into a cafe, think to yourself, "Can I get a coffee to go, please?" When you find a seat, say in your head, "Is this seat taken?" When your food arrives, smile and say, "The food looks amazing." Even if you don't say it out loud, training your mind like this creates powerful habits. Soon, you won't be translating, you'll just be speaking. Remember, fluency doesn't come from studying harder. It comes from living the language. It's about connecting sounds, emotions, and context like a real human being. So keep practicing with intention. Speak to your reflection, record your voice, listen again, and adjust. With time, you'll notice your tone becoming more natural, your rhythm smoother, and your confidence stronger. The next time you're out for coffee or dinner, try using one of these phrases. Even a simple, "Is this seat taken?" could lead to a real conversation, a new friend, or a shared laugh. That's the beauty of language. It opens doors everywhere you go. So keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, real English isn't learned in textbooks. It's learned one cup of coffee at a time. Let's move into the third section, English for work and study. This is where English takes on a new purpose: clarity, confidence, and professionalism. When you're in a meeting, writing an email, or participating in a class discussion, your words matter, but so does your tone. In professional and academic environments, people pay attention not only to what you say, but how you say it. That's why this part of your learning journey is about much more than vocabulary. It's about presence, attitude, and the way you project confidence through your voice. Think about how English sounds in the workplace. It's usually calm, polite, and direct. When you say something, you want to sound sure of yourself. Not too aggressive, but not too hesitant either. This balance is what creates respect and trust. So let's start with a few essential phrases that help you sound professional and proactive. The first one is, "Could you clarify that for me?" You can use this when someone says something you didn't fully understand, in a meeting, during a presentation, or even in class. It's polite, respectful, and it shows that you're paying attention. Notice the tone. It's not demanding, it's requesting. Your voice should rise slightly at clarify and fall softly at the end. You can also vary it. "Could you clarify what you meant by that?" Or, "Could you explain that a bit further?" These small phrases make a huge difference. They show that you're engaged and thoughtful, not afraid to ask questions. Next, let's look at "I'll handle it." This is a powerful phrase. It shows initiative and confidence. When you say, "I'll handle it," you're saying, "You can count on me." It's short, strong, and professional. In English-speaking workplaces, people appreciate those who take responsibility. Try saying it now. "I'll handle it." Keep your tone steady and firm, not rushed, not uncertain. You can also say, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it," or "Leave it with me." They all carry the same confidence. Another useful phrase is, "Let's schedule a quick meeting." You'll hear this all the time in offices and classrooms. It's an efficient, polite way to suggest discussing something later. Instead of saying, "We need to talk," which can sound a bit serious or even negative, you say, "Let's schedule a quick meeting." It sounds lighter, more productive, and friendly. You can personalize it. "Let's schedule a quick meeting tomorrow," or "Let's set up a short call to go over the details." Practice saying it naturally, with a rising tone at meeting and a smooth drop at the end.
Now we have, "That sounds like a plan." This phrase is one of the most natural ways to agree with someone's suggestion. It's casual, yet professional. It shows enthusiasm and alignment without sounding too formal. For example, if a colleague says, "Let's meet tomorrow at 10," you can simply respond, "That sounds like a plan." You can also use variations like, "Perfect, that works for me," or "Great, let's do it." The key is your tone, calm, positive, and cooperative. And finally, thanks for your feedback. This one is essential in both work and study environments. Whether you're receiving comments on your report, your project, or your performance, this phrase shows professionalism and humility. You don't always have to agree with the feedback, but acknowledging it respectfully is a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence. You can also expand it. "Thanks for your feedback. I'll take it into account." Or, "I really appreciate your input." Let's bring these phrases into a short simulation. A says, "Can we go over this report together?" B says, "Sure, let's schedule a quick meeting tomorrow." It's simple but effective. The first person uses a polite question. "Can we go over?" showing collaboration. The second person responds efficiently, showing readiness and initiative. This is exactly how professional English sounds: clear, direct, and respectful. Now, let's talk about something important: tone and rhythm. Professional English requires clarity and confidence. You don't need to speak fast. In fact, in most workplaces, people who speak a little slower tend to sound more confident. When you take your time, you show control. You're saying, "I know what I'm saying, and I'm comfortable saying it." So practice slowing down your speech. Pause briefly after key ideas. Emphasize important words. For example, "Could you clarify that for me?" Small pause. "I just want to make sure I understand." Those tiny pauses add weight to your message. Your intonation also plays a huge role. A firm tone conveys confidence, while a rising tone at the wrong moment can make you sound unsure. So when you say, "I'll handle it," keep your tone steady and low at the end, not rising. When you say, "Let's schedule a quick meeting," let your voice flow naturally, like a calm suggestion. And when you say, "Thanks for your feedback," smile a little. It makes your voice sound warmer and more sincere. In professional English, your attitude is often heard before your words. People can sense whether you're nervous, confident, impatient, or open-minded, just from your tone. So, one of the best exercises you can do is record yourself saying these phrases, then listen. Ask yourself, do I sound confident? Do I sound polite? Do I sound like someone people would want to work with? Adjust your tone accordingly. Let's take this a step further. Imagine you're in a meeting discussing a new project. Someone presents an idea, but you don't fully understand part of it. You lean forward slightly, maintain eye contact, and say, "Could you clarify that for me?" The person explains, and you nod. Then you say, "Got it. I'll handle that section." Later, someone suggests meeting tomorrow to finalize details, and you reply, "That sounds like a plan." When the meeting ends, your manager gives you a few notes on your presentation, and you respond with a calm smile, "Thanks for your feedback." In that short scenario, you've demonstrated every quality of a professional communicator: attentiveness, initiative, teamwork, and respect. You didn't need complicated grammar or big words, just the right tone, clear pronunciation, and natural phrasing. Now, let's do a quick reflection. Professional English isn't about sounding fancy. It's about sounding trustworthy. People trust clear, confident voices. They trust those who listen carefully, respond thoughtfully, and express themselves without arrogance. Every time you say a phrase like, "I'll handle it," or "that sounds like a plan," you're sending a message. You're dependable, calm, and capable. So, as you practice these sentences, focus on your voice. Speak firmly, breathe evenly, and project confidence. Don't rush. Don't mumble. Every word deserves space to be heard. Try it now, with me. Slowly. Could you clarify that for me? Pause. I'll handle it. Pause. Let's schedule a quick meeting. Pause. That sounds like a plan. Pause. Thanks for your feedback. Good.
Remember, English for work and study is about communication, not perfection. You don't have to know every word in the dictionary to sound professional. What matters is how you express yourself, clear, respectful, and confident. Train your tone to be steady, your rhythm to be calm, and your mind to stay focused. That's how you build credibility, one phrase at a time. So keep practicing, keep listening, and keep improving. Because when you speak English with clarity and confidence, you don't just communicate, you lead. Now, let's move into something truly powerful, the kind of English that connects people, that builds trust, and that lets others feel your sincerity. This is what I like to call social and emotional English. It's not just about choosing the right words, it's about choosing the right tone, the right intention. Because sometimes a simple phrase like, "You've really improved," can do more than a long speech. It can inspire someone, it can motivate them to keep going, or even change how they see themselves. When you say, "You've really improved," don't just throw the words out mechanically. Imagine you're talking to a friend who's been working hard on their English, or someone who's been trying to get better at something. Look at them with genuine pride. Smile and let your tone show admiration. That's how you make the phrase real. English is full of expressions like this, short but full of feeling. Another powerful one is, "That means a lot to me." You can use this when someone helps you, supports you, or gives you a compliment. It's an elegant and heartfelt way to show appreciation. When you say, "That means a lot to me," you're not just saying thank you, you're saying, "What you did really touched me." Practice it slowly, letting each word carry weight. That means a lot to me. Feel how the tone softens at the end. Then there's, "Don't worry, I've got your back." This phrase is so common among friends, colleagues, and even family members. It means, "I'm here for you," or "I'll support you no matter what." It's a beautiful way to show loyalty and friendship. If someone's nervous about a presentation or unsure about a decision, you can say it calmly, with a reassuring tone. "Don't worry, I've got your back." The secret is in the rhythm and tone. It should sound steady and confident, like a promise. Now, think about those days when someone does something small but makes you happy. Maybe they remembered your birthday, sent you a kind message, or made you laugh after a long day. That's when you say, "You made my day." It's a simple phrase, but it's full of joy. Try to say it with lightness in your voice, maybe even a little laugh. In everyday English, these emotional expressions are the glue that makes conversations human. And finally, one of the most versatile and friendly phrases, "Take it easy." This one has many uses. It can mean relax, don't stress, or even goodbye. It's casual, warm, and perfect for closing a conversation in a friendly way. For example, When you're leaving work or saying goodbye to a friend, you can say, "All right, take it easy." It shows you care about the person's well-being in a natural conversational way. Now, let's turn this into a small emotional exercise. I want you to feel the sentences. Don't just repeat after me. Imagine real situations. Say, "You've really improved," as if you're congratulating your best friend. Say, "That means a lot to me," as if someone just gave you a thoughtful compliment. Say, "Don't worry, I've got your back," as if you're comforting someone who's anxious. Feel the connection behind each phrase. When you practice this kind of English, you're not only learning vocabulary, you're learning emotional intelligence in another language. That's a superpower. Because language is not just communication, it's emotion, empathy, presence. When you can express your feelings sincerely in English, you no longer sound like a textbook. You sound like you. Think about it. What makes a conversation memorable isn't perfect grammar. It's the warmth, the kindness, the authenticity. When someone tells you, "You made my day," you don't analyze the sentence structure. You feel the emotion. That's why this section is so important. It helps you unlock the emotional layer of English, where real connection happens.
Let's do it together, one more time, slowly and with feeling. You've really improved. Feel the pride. That means a lot to me. Feel the gratitude. Don't worry, I've got your back. Feel the reassurance. You made my day. Feel the joy. Take it easy. Feel the calmness. Each phrase has a mood, a color, a rhythm. Remember this, emotional English is the bridge between speaking a language and living a language. When you speak with empathy, people don't just hear your words, they feel your heart. And that's where real communication begins. All right, now it's time to bring everything together. Vocabulary, emotion, rhythm, and imagination. You've learned how to greet people, how to order a coffee, how to speak at work, and how to express real feelings. But the real power of English happens when all those elements come alive in a story. So, let's dive into a short, simple, but meaningful moment, a story that sounds like real life. It's Monday morning. The sun is just starting to rise, and the air smells like fresh coffee. I walk into a small cafe, the kind of place that feels warm and familiar. The sound of quiet chatter fills the room, mixed with the soft clinking of cups and spoons. I look around, and then, suddenly, I see a familiar face. It's an old friend, someone I haven't seen in a long time. She looks up, her eyes light up, and she smiles. "Hey, long time no see," she says, with that mix of surprise and happiness. Her voice carries that warmth that instantly breaks the distance of time. I smile back, a little shocked, a little nostalgic. "Wow, it's been forever," I say. And just like that, we start talking, not as two strangers meeting after years, but as two people who pick up the conversation right where they left off. We talk about work, about life, about how fast time flies. She tells me about her new job, the places she's been traveling to, the people she's met. I share my own stories, the challenges, the lessons, the little victories. The conversation flows naturally, full of laughter and small pauses, just like in real life. And then she says, "Let's catch up soon." It's a simple line, but it carries emotion. It's not just about planning another meeting. It's about saying, I want to stay connected. I nod and smile. Definitely, I reply. And as I leave the cafe, I realize something powerful. These small interactions, these spontaneous moments, are what make English feel alive. They are not about grammar or perfection. They're about connection. Now, I want you to step into this story. Close your eyes for a second and imagine it's you walking into that cafe. Feel the atmosphere, hear the sounds, smell the coffee, see your old friend smiling at you. Hear her voice, "Hey, long time no see," and feel the emotion behind it. That's what real English sounds like. It's not robotic or mechanical. It's warm. It's human. It's full of life. Now let's practice shadowing. I'll read each part slowly, and you repeat after me, out loud, matching not just the words, but the feeling. Ready? Let's go. It's Monday morning. Pause. I walk into the cafe and see an old friend. Pause. Hey, long time no see. Pause. We laugh, share stories, and say, let's catch up soon. Pause. Moments like these make English feel alive. Good. Now let's do it again, but this time with emotion. Feel each phrase as if it's happening to you. When you say, hey, long time no see, smile. When you say, we laugh, share stories, imagine the warmth of the conversation. When you say, moments like these make English feel alive, let your voice soften with meaning. Because language isn't memorized, it's felt.
When you use visualization, when you imagine scenes, faces, and feelings, you train your brain to recall English naturally. That's what we call emotional fluency. It's when English stops being a subject you study and starts becoming a part of how you express yourself. So practice this story a few times. Don't rush. Feel every line. Each time you do, you'll notice your pronunciation improving, your rhythm getting smoother, your confidence growing. And more importantly, you'll start thinking in English, not word by word, but idea by idea. Remember, English is not just learned, it's lived. When you live it through stories, through emotion, through imagination, it becomes second nature. And soon, you'll realize that speaking English isn't about finding the right words, it's about feeling the right moments. Remember this, you're not just learning English, you're learning to connect, to express, and to live through a new language. Every word you speak brings you closer to fluency. Every sentence you build, even with mistakes, is a sign of courage. Every time you try, you grow. Learning a language isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to keep going, even when you don't have all the words yet. Think about it. When you started learning English, maybe you hesitated before saying even the simplest things. Maybe you felt nervous, afraid of sounding wrong. But look at you now, understanding more, speaking more confidently, expressing thoughts that once seemed impossible to say. That's progress. And progress doesn't happen overnight. It happens one conversation, one practice, one brave moment at a time. Fluency is not perfection. It's communication. You don't need to speak like a native to be understood. You just need to share your message, your story, your ideas. Real communication comes from sincerity, not from flawless grammar. So when you make a mistake, don't stop. Smile, breathe, and keep speaking. Because mistakes aren't the end. They're proof that you're trying. Every time you open your mouth to speak English, you're building confidence. Every time you listen, repeat, and correct yourself, you're rewiring your brain to think faster, clearer, and more naturally. You're not memorizing anymore. You're living the language. That's the secret. The more you live English, the more English becomes a part of you. Maybe some days you'll feel stuck, like your progress has stopped. That's normal. But remember, learning happens quietly. It's in those moments when you think you're not improving that your brain is absorbing, connecting, and preparing you for the next step. Don't wait for the perfect moment to speak. The perfect moment is now. Every word you speak matters. Every little effort counts. You are improving every single day, even when you don't see it. Believe in your progress. It's real. Others may not see how hard you're working, but you know the journey you've walked. And someday soon, you'll look back and realize that the person who once feared speaking has become someone who communicates with ease and confidence. Keep going, keep speaking, keep believing. Now, take a deep breath. Repeat after me, slowly with meaning. Every word I speak brings me closer to fluency. I'm improving every single day. Mistakes are proof that I'm learning. Fluency is not perfection, it's connection. I'm learning to express, to feel, and to live in English.
Let those words sink in. Feel them. This isn't just about English anymore. It's about self-expression, growth, and confidence. You're learning to connect with the world in a new way, through sound, rhythm, and meaning. And that's something to be proud of. You've done an amazing job today. You didn't just repeat phrases. You practiced real communication, emotion, and confidence. You listened, imagined, spoke, and connected. That's how real fluency begins. Be proud of yourself for every word you spoke and every effort you made. Before you go, let's make this experience even more powerful. Like this video if you felt inspired and share it with someone who's also learning English. Comment below your favorite phrase from today's lesson, or tell me which situation you'd like to practice next. Maybe at the airport, in a meeting, or while traveling abroad. Your feedback shapes what comes next. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because this journey doesn't stop here. The next episode is coming, Part 2, English for Real Situations, Emergencies, Travel, and Confidence. It's going to be full of useful expressions and realistic dialogues that prepare you for the real world.
As we close today's lesson, remember, you're not just learning words. You're learning to express yourself, to live experiences, and to connect with people in English. That's the beauty of this journey. Keep practicing, keep feeling, keep speaking. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Now say it with me one last time. I can do this. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm becoming fluent. One conversation at a time. Calm, encouraging, emotional, and authentic. Pacing, natural and reflective, with pauses for repetition and feeling. Visual style, scenes of cafés, workplaces, travel, and friendly conversations. Soft background music with bilingual subtitles, ENPT, to reinforce understanding. Moments of silence for emotional resonance, space for the learner to breathe, repeat, and feel confident. Because at the end of the day, you're not just learning English, you're learning to connect with the world.